Welcome back to the Dragon Den. My loyal Dragonites, King of Dragons 5000 is back with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah. And before we have a look at the figure, let's take a moment to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Gundamit.com. Action figures, model kits, and other collectibles, check out Gundamit.com with a link in the description. And so here we have Chester Cheetah posed and out of the packaging, but before we have a look at the figure, let's run through his accessories. Chester Cheetah does come with two very impressive head sculpts, as well as two pairs of hands, a Cheetos bag, and an oversized Cheeto puff. Other than that, Chester Cheetah does not come with any other accessories, so with that out of the way, let's have a closer look at Chester Cheetah. And so here we have a closer look at Chester Cheetah, and I have to say, this is one figure I never knew I really wanted until now. He has no right being as cool as he is, but this is a really nice figure. Taking a look at his head sculpt, I really like the sunglasses that Chester is wearing. The sculpt work on his sunglasses is very impressive, and I like the reflective lenses he has on. His snout is sporting some surprising detail. It is done in this really nice orange, however you can see some impressive shading done on his muzzle. His nose is done in black paint, and there is some surprising detail, especially on the texturing of his nose. And on either side of his face he does have three black whiskers, and they're done in this really nice nylon. Do be careful because the whiskers do seem like they might fall out if you're a little too rough with them. And on this particular head sculpt, Chester Cheetah is grinning, and I love the detailing on his teeth. The white tufts of fur on the side of his head also look really nice, and they're done exceptionally well, and you can see some paintwork in his ears. Moving on to the rest of his body, Chester Cheetah does have a white chest. For the most part, he is going to be done in this orange plastic, and it's a really good shade for Chester. He does have some impressive shading with a lighter orange going over some parts of the orange on his body. And being a cheetah, you can see he is covered in spots, which for the most part are painted really well. His arms are just going to be your standard cartoon tube arms, but there is some surprising detail here as well. Tufts of fur on his elbows look really good, and the spot work continues on his arms. Not to be outdone, there is some orange shading done on his arms as well. His front paws have some surprising detail, and they do have some white paint on the bottoms of his paws. The white underside of his body does continue down to his waist as well, and he does have some spots painted around his waist as well. His legs are very tubular, once again being a cartoon character, but there is some surprising shading on the front of his legs. And those painted spots look impressive, and they're done really nicely here on his legs. Chester is also wearing some white sneakers, and the detailing on his sneakers is very impressive. The sculpt work on his sneakers is impressive, and it goes all the way down to the laces going across his shoes. The laces and accents are actually painted in orange, and they're pretty clean here. And finally, Chester Cheetah does have a tail, and being a cartoon character, it starts off narrow at the base and widens as it gets to the tip. His tail is just done in this orange plastic, and you can see the spots are painted going all the way to the black tip of his tail. So overall, some impressive detailing here on Chester Cheetah, and I really like what Jada Toys has done here. With his details out of the way, let's compare Chester Cheetah to our usual suspects. Here we have Chester posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and DC Multiverse Superman, Mattel's WWE Elite Series and Mezco's 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man, the Lightning Collection White Ranger, and the Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. So Chester Cheetah will scale nicely to the rest of your 1/12 collection, and I absolutely love that fact. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's have a look at Chester Cheetah's articulation. Chester Cheetah has a double ball joint in the head and a ball joint in the neck. Arms go out to the side and do a full 360. Swivel hinge at his elbows. Hinge and swivel at his wrists. We have a ball joint in his waist. He has a hinge and swivel in his tail. Legs do kick forward, go back, out to the side, and have a thigh swivel. Hinge and swivel at his knee. Swivel at his shoe, hinge in the ankle, and forward facing pin for rocker ankle. So overall, Chester Cheetah here has some really impressive articulation. I'm surprised with how much he actually has given his frame. So with everything said and done about the Jada Toys Chester Cheetah, let's get him posed for my final thoughts. Jada Toys continues to impress me here, and Chester Cheetah is no different. Cheetos are actually one of my favorite snacks, and to have Chester Cheetah in my collection, it's a dream come true. A Chester Cheetah figure sounds like it's a really bad idea, but Jada Toys actually made it really well. For being essentially a character with a head and several tubes for his body, Jada Toys made the articulation work perfectly here. Given what they had, double joints were out of the question, but the articulation ranges that he does have are impressive given his cartoony frame. And because he has these oversized feet, standing him is not going to be an issue. I love the fact that he also comes with a scaled down bag of Cheetos as well as a giant Cheeto club. I will urge caution when moving Chester Cheetah around for the first time because his body is very thin. You don't want to overstress these joints. But once you get him moving, Chester Cheetah will move perfectly, and he does move very well, especially for a cartoon character. Now, at the time I'm making this video, Chester Cheetah is available on Big Bad Toy Store, so if you haven't already done so, definitely check him out. And before we wrap up today's video, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, GunDammit.com. GunDammit has a huge catalog of action figures, model kits, and other collectibles, so check out their link in the description of this video and use code DRAGON for added points on your purchase. With that being said, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and check out all my other action figure and Jada Toys videos. Check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, videos, recent pickups, latest prints, and as always, ring that bell so you never miss another video. And until next time, my fellow Dragonites coming from the Dragon Den, I'm King of Dragons 5000 reminding you to redesign, rebuild, and reclaim. I'll see you next time.